Hi, I thought we'd take this time to make some videos about common questions we get from clients where you can't really find a good answer on social media because every dog is an individual and there could be quite a few different reasons why things are happening. So right now with this one, we're going to talk about puppies in particular who balk. So they're stopping when they're on leash or even off leash and they don't want to go further on a walk. So there are 5 reasons that we can just point to in general for why puppies might be balking. One of the reasons is they're being walked way too long. So there's a formula that you can follow that you might have seen before, and it really holds true, and I'll explain why. And that is, you take the number of weeks that the puppy is and you get the number of minutes that your puppy is capable of sort of a sustained walk without, being overwhelmed. So if you bring home a 10-week-old puppy, you really only have the stamina for a 10-minute walk without them getting overwhelmed, especially if the walk is going into new places. And this is because, being outside, they're going to see things that are different. They're going to hear things. Their senses are still developing. They're going to maybe taste things. They're going to feel things. And at this stage, when they're pretty young, they have a pretty inherent DNA warning system that says, first of all, don't go too far away from home, because the more you venture out, the less you'll be safe. And this is ingrained to keep puppies from just wandering away. And then secondly, they do have some DNA fears. So I'm saying DNA, talking about these are wired fears. These are instinctual fears. And one of them is often big birds flying over. So they have, a sense that will go away when they get bigger, that big birds are dangerous, that they are vulnerable. And you'll see this a lot in puppies, where if even a goose flies over, they're tucking their tails and trying to run back home or something. So just think about that, all their instinctual, pre-wired fears of leaving home, and secondly, vulnerability of being scared for things like big birds or even big dogs or loud noises. The second thing is you need to look at something that's very important for puppies, and that is that they're getting enough sleep. And why this could impact the balking is because if they're really tired and you've taken them for 2 long walks, they're like, I don't have it in me to take this long walk. It's actually my nap time, and my body is telling me right now I need to go to sleep. So there's another formula for puppies probably up until 4 weeks old, 4 months old, so 16 weeks old, where they really need at least 4 2-hour naps a day. And they need that total, so that would be 4 times 2 is 8, and then you get 8. So they need at least 16 hours of sleep a day, and preferably up to 20. And this is really necessary. So we'll talk about that in another video, but you want them to have if you wake up at 7 or 6, then, they're awake for maybe an hour, hour and a half, then they go down for 2 hours, then they're up for another hour, hour and a half, go down for 2 hours. And it's good to have a schedule so that their bodies are really used to those nap times. And that's, again, another video that we'll talk about. But are you, the big question mark, are you giving your puppy enough sleep time? And once they hit 16 weeks, they still need an additional 6 hours of sleep. So maybe 3 2-hour naps a day in addition to the overnight sleeping. So that's number 2. The third reason that they could be balking is because they're hungry. So are you feeding your puppy enough? Did they just have a good meal before you took them out? And again, that's, they recommend at least 3 feedings a day, but possibly 4. And that's just because their digestive system is not made to take a lot of food and store it and sort of trickle it out over time. These digestive systems in these very young, babies still, are not developed enough to store food and have that steady flow of energy coming out and all the other nutrients and stuff during the day. So you need 3 to 4 meals a day. And you also want to make sure that your puppy's a good weight, which will be another video someday, or even dog. So just make sure, like check mark, did your puppy have enough food? Another reason that puppies are balking is because they might anticipate something that could make them sore. So puppies are growing, and they're growing pretty fast. Some of the large breed puppies are growing at a huge rate. And so they could be sore. They could have some growth soreness in their joints. And so they really don't, that's another reason to have those short segments of walks, because they could have a memory of, oh, the last time we did this, especially if you're walking on pavement, they didn't feel too good because they got sore. And another reason that puppies could be balking, and again, this is just to help you think a little more broadly about this reason, because we get a lot of people who say, oh, they're just being stubborn. And there's always a reason for behaviors like this. There's always a reason for all behaviors, and it is incredibly rare. I mean, we don't even know any dogs or puppies that are doing it just to be stubborn. That's a human interpretation of something that is really not happening in the dog world. So another thing that could be happening is they had a scary experience the last time they went on a walk. So they're nervous about it. They don't want to do it. So you have to think, like, did a big dog bark at them? Did a little dog bark at them? Did a human come up to them and start petting them despite the fact that they were giving signals that they didn't want the petting? And again, that will be another video that we'll have, is talking about their signaling signs with their body language. And was your puppy looking away and sniffing the ground and licking his lips when somebody came and the person kept coming and started touching him? And that would be that the puppy did everything he could to say, please don't come up to me, and the person still did. So that could be a scary experience, because the puppy doesn't have control of their environment. And so why would they want to go back into that environment after feeling that vulnerability? So I hope this helps a little bit. This gives you a general feeling of the fact that puppies balking could be a variety of reasons, and look forward to seeing you next time.